All right, so you see it, right? Soup can's already in the chat from Cooks there. What a game. That's right. Get those alerts in now, man. Now's the time to freak me out. Anyways, yes, go Leafs, go. Hey, I mean, any win over the Habs is a beautiful thing. Any time of year, under any circumstances, it's always a beautiful thing. And tonight's one of those ones. It's just extra beautiful, right? Just extra beautiful. They're trying to creep up in the standings, those Habs. Okay, they're trying to avoid us in the first round. You know what I mean? They're trying to avoid us right now. And tonight the Leafs are like, no. We want you. Okay, we're gonna destroy you now, and we're gonna destroy you later. Okay, that's what that whole attitude was tonight. But honestly, like, there's nothing to complain about. So there's nothing to get into there. If you want to know the truth, I'll tell you guys the absolute truth. I missed the entire first period. Okay, the entire first period. I ended up going back and watching all the goals, though, thanks to Cooks, actually, I think in the Discord there. All right, but I ended up watching all the goals. Okay, so I did see them. I can talk about them. Okay, but I was actually watching Mighty Ducks 2 with my family, with my 2 kids and my wife. Okay, because I promised that we would. Okay. And by the time we actually had time to watch the movie, you knew it was going to bleed into the Leafs game a little bit. But I still did it. Compromise was they let me have it on the radio, and it started up about 10 after 7, right? Just kind of like in my ear a little bit. But I watched it with them. We were watching it, okay? And that's what the beauty is about being a parent, is ever since I became a parent, man, I'm telling you, there's always moments where you have to choose between your kid or something you love to do. It just happens, right? And you're always going to prioritize your kid. And sometimes it's nice to know that fate's got your back. So I didn't watch the first period. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh! It's funny because at the time we were watching Mighty Ducks and it was near the end of the movie. So that was like when the Ducks started coming back in the movie. You know what I mean? So like their crowd's going. I got the little radio in my ear. That's going. You know what I mean? We're all having a good time. We're letting the kids know about it and stuff. So, I mean, you know, sometimes in life, you make a sacrifice and the fates look after you a little bit. You know what I mean? It's not even a sacrifice. It was so much fun to watch. They're loving the Mighty Ducks stuff, guys, but I'll get into that later, okay? I'll get into that later. Bottom line is pure domination. They kept the Habs under 25 shots for the whole game. They got over 30 shots. Ton of goals. I mean, just all kinds of control. The ones that went in on them were, you know, sloppily not covering people in front the way they should, but that's been a problem all year. If you're still winning, you're still winning. Who cares, right? So there's no reason for me to go into all that. You already know what I'm gonna say about all that stuff, okay? But tune it up for the playoffs, right? That's probably what they're doing. So, I mean, we're rolling, man. We're rolling. And now the other thing that I gotta get to before we actually get into the opinions thing, okay, is the whole Rangers Capitals thing, okay? And I want everybody to know, I cannot stress this enough. I cannot stress this enough. I cannot stress this enough, Cooks, okay? And everybody else, I do not like Wilson. If he were gone tomorrow, just out of the game, you would never see me miss him, I promise you, okay? I am not a fan of his. And there's plenty of stuff that he does that I think you could have suspended him or kicked him out for before, that he's gotten away with just fines and stuff. There are things he's gotten away with that I'm like, how's that not a suspension, okay? But as far as this particular incident goes, I watched it like 58 times from all the angles you can see on YouTube. I'm telling you, it's not as bad as you think. If you take the blinders off, right, the ones that tell us, I hate Wilson, because I had him too. I had him too, man, okay? And then I reached out to some people, including a former Toronto Maple Leaf defenseman who told me directly, okay? That's the stuff that happens in the NHL all the time. And my first instinct was, what? No. People don't land on each other's heads with their cross-check on the back of the net. People don't grab the hair and pull it down and like that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? People don't smash heads into the ice. They don't do that stuff in the NHL. Not anymore. Anyways, not for a long time. I thought all the same things. But reading this man's message saying, you know, like, dude, I'm telling you, this happens all the time in the NHL. And I'm like, okay. He said he's protecting his goalie. So that's why I put up the thing about old Booch there. I don't know how to actually say his name, so we call him Booch now, right? Giving him a little kick towards the goalie. And everyone thought I was saying that, like, oh, he's trying to murder the goalie, so you have to beat him up. No, I'm saying he kicked. He made a kicking motion. He was probably trying to go for the puck, trying to knock it loose, perhaps. Maybe he didn't even know it was underneath the goalie. Maybe he was just swinging his leg wildly because he was already being knocked down. which, by the way, Wilson's stick is not on top of the neck, it's underneath the neck. I know, guys. I fell for it too. I thought it was on top and he was doing this. No, the stick is underneath because he's falling onto the stick as they all go down, okay? The other hand doesn't smash a head in like I thought it did, okay? But it gives him a shot to the shoulder once they're on the ice. I know. I'm telling you, he's a piece of dirt. I don't like him at all. I want him gone. I'm telling you, okay? But every step of this, the things I thought were happening, the things a lot of you people thought were happening, everybody watching at home, you know what I mean? Really try and take the blinders off. You'll see it's not as bad. It's not as bad as we all thought, okay? It is equally as bad as lots of things that are happening right now in today's NHL. You know what I mean? A lot of this is already happening in game to game. I mean, Crosby was out there mashing the head into the ice. Dude had his helmet on, but this was a physical, like he was repeatedly mashing into the ice. Okay? Crosby just did that. And if Crosby can do that, we gotta let Wilson be able to do that. Now, does he get away with it? No, he doesn't get away with it. I don't think the league should step in. There should not be suspension or anything like that, okay? But I'm telling you, okay, the Rangers did the right thing. The Rangers did the right thing the next night. That's it. Your season's done, right? It was going to be done anyways. And I don't care how goofy or silly it looks to other people, okay? I like it, okay? I like what the Rangers did. That's for sticking up for your team, sticking up for each other. You know what I mean? Nobody really got hurt from those fights. Nothing major at all. It gets it all done with. You know what I mean? Like that. For the people who like fighting still, right? And I realize not everybody does, but for the people who like it still, okay? How do you get to the really good fights if you never have the things that the players settle themselves? If every time somebody crosses that line a smidge or whatever, where it's not blatant, like, yeah, okay, that's criminal almost, but, you know, crosses that line in terms of respect or whatever else like that, okay? Anytime that happens, you gotta let the players sort it out themselves. You gotta. That's what I learned from, like, trying to find out about this. You know what? The more I try and listen to other players and stuff like that, like people who actually play, you know what I mean? Like professional players, not me, right? This is not my opinion. I was with everybody. Wilson's a piece of garbage, get rid of him. But the more you listen to actual players, you know what I mean? There are plenty that say that's just what happens in hockey. So okay, right? So that's why you don't suspend Crosby. If you're gonna let Crosby get away from it, away with it, then that's why they're letting Wilson get away with it. He got fined, didn't he? Now, if you have a problem with what it should be fined or what should be suspended and everything like that, just as a rule, hey, that's a different discussion. And if you want to raise that bar so that like things like what Wilson did with the yanking of a guy down towards the ice, right? Even though he doesn't push the head in, but I still agree with you, that is a disrespectful play. Like, I agree with all that stuff. That's a disrespectful play in my eyes, but I'm not one of the players on the ice, okay? So, that's all I'm saying. Sometimes you gotta do it, man. Sometimes you gotta do it. You gotta get into these fights in hockey, all right? It settles a lot of stuff. I can't explain it, all right? And if you don't want fighting in the game at all, you know what? I understand. I would watch that. Okay, because women's hockey doesn't have fighting in it, and some of the best hockey in the world. Team USA versus Team Canada women's hockey, some of the best hockey games I've ever watched. No fighting, no body checking. Sorry, it was the water. No fighting, no body checking. You know? So if you want to have a brand of hockey in the NHL that has no hitting and no fighting, I would still watch. I promise you. But for all you people that like you like the skill and the speed and everything like that, okay? But you don't like the violence. I'm telling you, I don't think there's as many people like you as you think. Okay? Why does the NHL go through periods of this where every few years it gets back to a grittier, more like fighting style of hockey? I mean, right now they probably have the best reason to do it. It's because it's COVID stuff. They've lost revenue and they're trying to get it back. Well, how do you get people, you know, talking about hockey? Let them fight. Let them fight. Right? So all I'm saying is, for whatever reason, the league seems to not care what anybody who hates fighting thinks. Like, I'm sorry that I'm on the other side of it, and I enjoy the fights. I enjoy the brawls. As long as no one gets seriously hurt, I'm for it. I think it's great. You know what I mean? I wouldn't do it myself. I would be out there trying to negotiate everything. I wouldn't want to fight. If I was an NHL, I'm not saying I'd be out there like them fighting. I don't want to do that. You know, but when a guy's ready to punch me in the face, it's nice to know that there's somebody on my team to say, hey, you don't mess with him because he's not here to fight. You want to fight somebody, I'm here to go. I mean, imagine if every bar you went to, you had somebody like that in your corner. Where if you bumped into anyone, any kind of accident, any kind of like accidental trip, guy goes flying, he's ready to punch you in the face because he's got a short temper, he doesn't accept your apology, well, my guy steps into the bar fight, you know what I mean, instead for me. You take that in a heartbeat. That's the point of an enforcer in hockey. I love it. It's a great part of the game. So when it comes to that, you can either have it or not. I'm fine with either, okay? But the league seems to want to have the enforcer still. The league still seems to want to have the violence. So I'm going to enjoy it, okay? So if that makes any sense to you guys, I'm sorry I ramble about this stuff so much, but you know what I mean? A lot of people really thought like I was backing Wilson as a player, and I'm really not. Give him another week. He'll do something that he's going to get himself in trouble for, especially now that all the eyes are on him. He's going to do it because he can't help himself. He's going to cross the line. So when he does, do what you got to do, league. But you know what I mean? The point is, for now, what he did in this one incident, I'm telling you, if you watch the footage, just is not as bad as I originally thought. I don't know what you guys think of it, but if you thought it was like worthy of a ban from the league, I'm telling you, compare it to what's going on in the league right now from other players. You know what I mean? And for anyone who wants to say, yeah, but he's a repeat offender. Okay, so if a guy kept stealing from houses on your street, right? And then one day he decides to drink a milkshake. You can't throw him in jail for drinking the milkshake and then say, yeah, but all the, he's a repeat offender, from all these other crimes that he did. Yes, but the point is, it's not a crime. What he did in the eyes of the league is not a suspension because other players are doing it too. So you know what I mean? Like, that's all I'm saying. In terms of the rules of hockey, unless they change what's acceptable, a guy like Wilson can do stuff like that. Char's ragdoll 3 or 4 guys by now, right? He's had a long career, but that was it. Like, straight up. Chara has done this 4 or 5 times. Grab a guy by the jersey. Yeah, I know. Panarin's hair looks like it's being grabbed, and at one point I think it is, and I think you even see Wilson let go and then re-grab the jersey. There's a moment in there. Why? Because Panarin's got the long lettuce. He's got the flow going, and not to mention these NHLers don't wear their chin straps tight. It's got a chin strap, guys. How many of them, the chin strap, do you see down here? Huh? Look at these NHLers going around like this with their chin straps way down here. Why? So that if they want to get to a fight or they want to look cool because my helmet pops off, boom. And you might think, nah, they're not that superficial, are they? Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. Any excuse to look cool on camera for a minute, just like your heroes growing up, they wear them loose so that they can pop off easy. So you don't want to have your helmet get popped off in a tussle and then end up skull first on the ice. How about you do that sucker up a little bit, eh? It should be no more than like a finger width. Maybe 2 underneath the chin. And if you do that, Panarin doesn't get hurt on that play at all. And that's it. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. You know what I mean, guys? There's ways to get people legitimately, but just because you don't like someone doesn't mean you can get them on trumped up charges, is all I'm saying. Sound good? And like I said, I had all the initial reactions that like everybody on the Instagram stuff was having. I did too. I was right there. Like when have you guys ever had your mind changed? Before you get into like a real debate. Like in a debate or whatever like that, whether it's about sports or anything, like when's the last time you've had your mind changed? Right? Because if you've never had your mind changed before from what other people have said, then like really look at yourself for a second and be like, wait a minute, am I going out of my way to like put blocks up on people, or am I trying to learn from somebody? If you're trying to learn from somebody, eventually, at least once in your life, you should have your mind changed, right? So I saw the stuff from Wilson. I wanted him gone. I was furious. I hated it. I thought it was disgusting. And then I did some research, okay? I reached out to people, got some other opinions, rewatched the footage again and again and again from all the angles. And if I take my own opinions of the player out of it, I'm telling you, it's not as bad as we thought. It's not. So that's what I have to say about all that. Like I said, there wasn't much to talk about the Leafs game, so then we got into the Wilson stuff just because it's been such a huge topic, you know? It's been such a huge topic, but that's what I had to say about it, right? And as everyone on YouTube's about to find out, you know, this is where we talk about what you think about it, right? And they don't get to hear that part on YouTube. No, instead they should be clicking links down below to join us over for that stuff and everything like that, you know? After the Leafs game. The Predators knows what's up, right? That's right. Another one just joined, you know? So anyone who watches this on YouTube after the fact should be clicking links down below, all right? But now we're gonna see what you have to say, okay? AM's in the house right before it gets moved up. What are we saying here? Ah, I just missed it. Wait, oh, guys, before you go anywhere, I mean, like, that's the thing. So, we were talking about the pulling the goalie thing before, okay? The video's up on YouTube. I'm telling you, it may seem long, it may seem like it's full of math, and you're not gonna understand what's going on. I promise you, I summarize everything for you. Just let it roll. Just click that thing on YouTube and let it roll, okay? By the end of it, you'll know exactly why you should not be pulling your goalie with 6 minutes left, like that study suggested, like the NHL is trying to toy with. I'm telling you, there's nothing to back it, nothing solid, and I went through it and I broke it down. Math, guys, math. Look. I got a notepad here, man. Look. There's math and stuff on there from their report that I double checked. I cross checked that stuff, man, because I know how to do it. Okay? I'm telling you, all right? Based on my newly acquired education, I don't think there's anything to back up that claim. I think they completely botched the whole study. And if you watch the video, you'll know exactly why. Okay? You'll know exactly why if you watch my video on YouTube about pulling the goalie using math. It does. I'm not saying it can't work. Okay? Because that's one thing I know someone's bound to say eventually. Like, oh, well, you know, they're just trying to measure the things you can quantify, since there's they even admit that there's things that you can't quantify, like hustle or anything like that. Bull! You can quantify hustle over a course of a few different things you could measure. If you wanted to quantify the hustle of your team right now when you're down 4-1, you can look at a combination of time on attack, which is time spent in the offensive zone with possession, not without, okay? And you can measure shots on goal. You can even measure expected goals, like that stat that they're pulling in now. I don't mind bringing that in as a secondary way to measure something. Use the expected goals as well. So if you can combine those stats, come up with a calculation real quick to determine whether or not they've got that, as well as the odds of you scoring with an empty net, then go for it. Use your math. But they didn't. They only based it on 5 things. 5 things, guys. But you're gonna have to watch the video on YouTube to find out what they are. All right? All right? Does that make sense? I hope you guys check it out, because I put a lot of work into that. I put a lot of math into that. And I'll probably never make another one of those again. Who knows? Who knows? If you like it, then I'll make more about any of the stats you guys want to know about. You know what I mean?